My guest is living the American dream and has had an amazing life. And she's one of the few women who could talk about Prince. Devin DeVasquez is next.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Lives. Breaking into.
Was such a beautiful song. Just by itself, just a beautiful song. You guys, we're listening to Prince sing a song that kind of inspired the title of this book. Such a great time. This song. Sometimes it snows in April. From the Parade soundtrack, which I'm wearing a shirt from another song from that soundtrack too, from Mountains. Welcome to Breaking Into. I'm James Lott Jr. I'm your host, and I have a really great guest. I mean, she has such a varied career. We're going to talk about all the different parts of it. It's so exciting. Playboy, Star Search, The Bay, Can't Hardly Wait.
No.
What's the other one?
Can't
Buy Me Love. Which, the line in that movie, of course, we all remember of that time period. She is just such a wonderful person, and she wrote this really inspiring, beautiful book. I'm saying run, don't walk, run and get it. Well, run to your tablet, run to your computer, run to your laptop. Get this book. It is so great. It's called The Day It Snowed in April, a memoir. And she's so beautiful inside and out. Miss Devin DeVasquez.
You're so sweet, James. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I meant the other movie, of course. I was like, of course, that comes out. So I'll give you your intro, of course. Because, I mean, you're so memorable in that movie, too. I mean, just for that.
Which movie?
Because you and Geraldo, of course, you later did Rico Suave years later.
Are you talking about Can't Buy Me Love?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you remember on that, too. It's like, you've been around for a long time, girl.
Oh, God. You're aging me.
No, you look great. Nothing about it. Like, you look great. But you've been around for a while. It's like, you're not somebody who just came out yesterday. You've been around for a while. You've seen a lot of things.
I have. Yeah.
You have.
Age and wisdom. Well, with age comes wisdom.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed this book because you really kind of bring us back to some of those times and your way you're navigating through it and some of your reflections on it too.
Well, that was the whole purpose, is I wanted to write from my heart. That's the way I write. I wanted to tell that story because it was such a beautiful, magical time. Yeah. In both, I think, my life and in Prince's life, I think that was the height of his career. It's when the music was just pouring out of him, and you could just feel it and see it, and it was just such an exciting time.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't keep a diary. So when he passed, I was very moved to write it all down. And then I was a little apprehensive about sharing it with the world because it was so personal. Yeah. So that's why I had to publish it myself, because it was so personal, and I wasn't sure if I was going to put it out or not.
Okay.
And then I had a lot of spiritual experiences that told me, you need to put this out.
Yes.
I mean, part of that spiritual experience was this little guy.
Little
here.
Prince. You guys, this dog is so cute. He's wearing his ruffles.
He's channeling Prince.
He is. He's a good boy too.
And my husband said to me, if you ever become one of these women with a little purse dog, I'm going to divorce you. And I have a few girlfriends who have purse dogs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, he's the smallest of them all. And I never even carried a purse before. Now I have to carry a purse everywhere I go.
To carry your dog.
And I think he was thinking, okay, if you become Paris Hilton, forget about it, right? But this, as you can see, he's a special little guy.
He is. He's really good. Look, he's looking at Daddy. He's looking at Daddy. He's like, you better divorce Mom. Sorry. He said no.
No, and everybody knows my Perry family.
Yeah.
Everybody online knows him, has gotten to see his little personality, and he was one of those signs.
Yeah, those signs,
because I rescued him a year ago.
Wow.
And it was on my around my birthday.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend from the Shelter Hope Pet Shop in Thousand Oaks, she started telling me his story because his owners died in a car crash.
Oh, poor thing. Oh, my God.
And, I mean, otherise, who would give up this little angel,
I couldn't. Oh, my God, I couldn't.
So I was like, I can't have a dog. We travel too much. It's like, no way.
Yeah, you do travel a lot.
But she started telling me, the more she told me about him, the more curious I got. But the thing that got piqued my curiosity was she said she had him for 2 weeks and people were standing in line to adopt him.
Oh my God.
And I said, what type of dog is he? And she says he's a teacup Yorkie Chihuahua.
Wow.
And I said, but don't they bark a lot?
Yeah.
And she says, I haven't heard this dog bark.
Wow.
In 2 weeks.
Wow.
She hadn't heard him bark.
Wow.
So that's what got my curiosity.
Yeah.
And I went to see him. And as soon as I saw him, his name was Spencer.
Spencer, boring.
And I went, you're not Spencer, you're Prince. I mean, he even looks like him, doesn't he? So now he's the dog. He's the dog formerly known as Spencer. But he's Mr. Prince 1999 on Instagram.
He's so cute.
He's so cute, and he's got his personality.
Yes.
He really is energetic and funny and so smart, this dog.
Oh, wow.
And so now he's become my little shadow.
Well, the thing is, rescue dogs are the best.
They are.
They're the best.
They are.
Little angel. Now, the thing about your book is really good, that you did really well, I feel. Every title, every chapter is a Prince song.
Yes.
But you didn't do it just gratuitously. It's like every story within that chapter goes back to the title.
That is so cool that you got that.
No, seriously.
I'm
I was reading,
so happy you got
I was
that.
kind of like, oh, these are kind of cute. Every song is on. Okay, I got it. And like, oh no, actually, each story and each situation you talk about relates to the title.
Yes, exactly. And
was
so,
that hard? Was that? I mean, well, you wrote the stories first, right?
Well, like I said, I knew this story needed to be told. I actually asked Prince for a sign, and he gave me several.
Okay.
Okay, and one of the signs was an actual street sign, which was at the beginning of the book.
Yeah, my name is Prince. It starts out the book. That's appropriate.
Yeah, okay, but one of the signs was a barn owl.
Oh, yes,
And my husband and I were actually in Studio City, and we saw this street sign, and I couldn't believe I saw this street sign that said barn owls are coming. I mean, you can pull the picture up at the beginning of it.
Yeah, it's in the book.
So we took a picture of it because I was thinking, are we the only ones that can see this? Like, why would? And I was thinking, this is so Prince because it was his sense of humor. He was so funny. It was his sense of humor. Well, you asked for a sign. I gave you a sign.
Yeah. And it does like sound like him, doesn't it? It's like he's like, I can tell you what the sign is, but I'll give it to you. Yeah.
He gave me a sign.
He did.
And then I had 2 white barn owls, which are very rare in Southern California, come to our home, and my husband's sitting right here, so he can tell you he witnessed it 3 nights in a row, screaming like Prince screamed on stage.
Oh my God.
And drew us out, flying around us. I was thinking, okay, we are thinking of selling our house because our kids are grown up, and maybe this is just a sign that we're on the right track in selling our house. And then I was like, oh my God, no, this is Prince. This is another Prince sign.
Wow.
And then I got this little dog.
Yeah, there you go.
And I still haven't seen a dog smaller than him. So
Sounds like Prince. Yes.
Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, these are all signs that I need to write the book. So I started writing, and it just started pouring out of me.
Yeah.
And seriously, I had people that I hadn't seen or talked to in years call me out of the blue and say, I remember when you took me to the Prince concert, and you were wearing this and that and that. I was just like, oh my God, this is, because you'd be surprised at things you can't remember when you start to try to remember.
Yes.
Details.
That makes sense.
Right?
Yes.
And I was trying to be as accurate and as honest as possible, and writing it all down, and it just poured out of me. So once I read it back, I cried like a baby.
I'm sure.
And I was just like, I can't put this out. This is too personal.
Yeah.
And then I let a few select friends listen to a few chapters.
Who you trust, obviously.
And I got some feedback.
Okay.
And a couple of really close friends said, no, you need to put this out.
Yeah.
And I think it came full circle around because his death affected so many fans and so many people like myself.
Me too.
Who knew him. He was just such a large presence I mean, a blind man would know Prince was in the room.
I'm sure, completely.
Because he just had that kind of presence, you know. And so I was just like, you know, I had such a great story, and I used to tell this story to a few select friends because everybody wanted to know about Prince.
Of course, we all do.
I mean, I came to Hollywood. Who comes to Hollywood?
I know your story. Yes.
Meeting Prince, and then the next day Hugh Hefner.
Yes.
I mean that.
Oh no, I know.
You know,
I know.
I was just like, okay, what a life, what a week I'm having, life was going so fast for me at that time, and I didn't keep a diary. And I remembered David Chan, who was the Playboy photographer, discovered me, and like my dad, would say, you need to be writing this down.
But you're busy living. You're busy living it.
And I didn't listen to him, you know, but it was happening so fast.
Yeah.
And even though I had a romance with Prince that lasted a good 6 months, I was around him for 3 years.
Yeah.
And
you talk about it in the book too. You
with
talk about
his management company, and a lot of people knew that. I had major producers like Brian Grazer and celebrities asking me about Prince constantly.
Yeah.
And out of respect, I never spoke about him. I think everybody knew it was an unspoken word. You just don't talk about him.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't.
But the thing is that I had such an amazing, positive story, and I think I'm very intuitive. I pay attention to my gut feelings. And I had a lot of coincidences, and there's no such thing as
right. We said there before. But I know what you mean, though.
I had a lot of coincidences leading up to writing the book, which I spelled out in the book.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? This is my life. Every life has a story, and I don't want to forget a single moment of this time. So I'm gonna just listen to my gut. And put it out there.
Yeah. Now, that's a great segue, girl. We're going to show, because she has such an amazing journey. We're going to talk about Prince again a little later, but just like there's some other things that she's done that is, again, like you said, you live in the American dream. Like you came here, and I want to say the mid-'80s and late 80s were good to you. They were really good to you when you first got it. They were really good to you. And we're going to show right now a clip. This is you, and this is where I remember you first. Remember you, and I almost forgot about Star Search, like Star Search. And Ed McMahon, so you guys who don't know what that is, that was like a competition show, and it was
the first reality
show.
One of the first reality shows.
I think of you and Tracy Ross, a few others were spokesmodels. I mean, but I remember you from this. So this is actually a clip from this back in like a long time ago.
Poise and the ability to speak effectively. Now, all the spots have not been filled for the semifinals in this category. The champion would like to keep up a winning streak and hopefully take that 4th position. She's a gorgeous lady from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with 1 win. She's wearing a designer fashion by Aileen Warren. Welcome, Devin DeVasquez.
How do you pronounce that? How do you pronounce that? Look at you. Look at that 80s outfit. I love it.
How are you? Oh, so nice. Now, for all the good people at home, will you tell them what they have to look forward to here on Star Search in the next few weeks?
The semifinals and the chance to go for that $100,000.
I like the way you say that. You gleam in your eye. That $100,000. Okay, here's Devin in her very latest Star Search photo session.
Now, when was that time you saw your lips? And that's Jane Whelan singing Blue Kiss. And I love that song. But look at you. It's so 80s. I love it.
It's too bad you didn't get the one with Baby on the Star.
No, there were so many different things to choose from. With you, again, this woman has done so much. And I had to choose something. I kind of like this. I love the fashions.
It's purple.
It's purple. But you have the same smile, girl. You have the same smile.
Thank you.
Same beautiful smile.
Thank you.
But when you see some of this stuff, wait, what do you...
You know, I'm not that girl anymore.
But do you smile about it? Did you have a good experience with Star Search? Was that like a good experience?
Yeah. Well, I talk about, there's a whole chapter in the book, but I talk about the fact that you just didn't see exotic women on television at that time. In fact, I had Paula Abdul tell me she watched me when she worked on the Can't Buy Me Love African Anteater ritual.
Yes, you talk about that in the book too.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she told me, I saw you on Star Search and I was rooting for you.
Because she's exotic looking too.
Yeah, and so it was sort of like you just didn't, and they were always teasing my hair really high to be next to the 5'8", 9, 10
that's right.
blonde, blue-eyed models, you know, because you just didn't see exotic women.
But you won.
I won.
So,
I actually, I mean, I talk about that in the book because I was supposed to be on the beginning of that season.
Right.
And I was booked on something with Playboy, and I couldn't get out of it. And I had to say no to going to New York and shooting the modeling videos. And I was so disappointed. But it turned out I sent flowers to the producer and to keep me in mind for the next season. And someone had a death in her family, had to drop out at the last minute. It was the last 3 shows of the season. So they called me to take her place. And I won those last 3 shows and went on to win the $100,000. So I never lost on that show.
No, you didn't. You did. That's what I'm saying. Like, you actually won for an exotic person from Baton Rouge. My family's from Louisiana too. They're from Shreveport and all that. So I'm like, this is like as a down home girl.
Yeah, I was the underdog.
Yes, definitely. I'm sure. Did you ever feel like while you were going through this process, I could really win this, or were you just like, I'm happy to be here?
No, I was so nervous. I didn't think I would get that far. I was just happy to make the show. So, but yes, of course, I wanted.
Of course,
I wanted it. And I think I manifested it because I wanted it so bad.
I believe
it. And I had never done anything on television. I had never done anything live like that before. I'd never spoke. And, you see, that was the first time you saw models walk and talk at the same time. Because you didn't see that before. So that's what made the show so big.
Yeah, and it was. And the thing, as I was saying, it's a thing that, back then people don't realize if you don't remember, if you weren't around that time, the climate was a little different back then when it came to models that weren't exactly, you said, blonde hair, blue-eyed.
Yes.
It was very different in all aspects of that.
And the industry was different, too. It's like if you did television, you didn't do film.
Yes.
And I remember my agent was like, "You're more film, honey. You're not television." And so my career was always film, and luckily the films I did,
some good ones,
have stood the test of time.
I agree.
A film I did the lead in called Society with Billy Warlock.
I love Billy.
Who, Billy was famous from the original Baywatch, which is now back.
Now it's back. Isn't that funny? And then weird to see something like recycle back. You're like, am I that old? I'm recycling back.
And so Billy, it's a very strange movie, probably the strangest movie you'll ever see. But it's become a cult classic.
Yeah,
So that movie, Can't Buy Me Love, House 2, I played a virgin.
Yes, you did.
I'm very diverse.
You are. I said that because you are diverse. Your career is very diverse. It is.
And Prince, he watched me win Star Search and called me and congratulated me. And next thing I knew, I was under his management company. And Cavallo, Ruffalo, and Fargnoli started my career. Mark Gervitz, who is a huge manager today for Brillstein Gray and Handel's Jennifer Aniston and lots of people, started my career. So I got to see people like Bill Maher do stand-up, before he was Bill Maher. And I was just working all the time.
You were. And now, one thing I want to show, I don't know if you've seen this, is a slick clip for her on The Tonight Show. Now, when you were on The Tonight Show, you made it. Like back then, Johnny Carson, you made it. But you were really funny and engaging on the show, and so I want to show a clip of that.
Winner too?
He won the $100,000 in the end.
Good move. Good move. Obviously, you didn't go backstage and said, "I'd like to meet the runner-up." You went in. $100,000.
I'd like to just think of myself as a free spirit right now, and
really?
I'm dating a lot of guys. Yeah.
But not anyone on a regular basis.
Well, no, not anyone.
I don't want to get too personal, but.
Do you have any tips for me?
I love that. He's been married 3 times. I love that.
We really don't have time to discuss that tonight. No, I think it's your age.
So I just wanted to
young
show
girl,
that.
you're
This is kind of funny. You actually held your own with Johnny Carson, and when you said that statement, everybody famously was married 3 different times, all this stuff, and that's why he made jokes of his own. But you were really good on that.
Thank
I watched
you.
I watched the whole clip. I was like, oh my god, you're really good on there. You held your own.
Well, back then you had to be, what do you call it? The producers had to interview you.
Okay.
To go on the show.
Okay.
And it was Mark Gervitz that got.
Wow.
He was like, "You gotta meet Devin. You gotta meet Devin." You know, it's like next thing I know, I was on Johnny Carson.
That's amazing.
And they had me on as a third guest, meaning maybe I'd get on, maybe I wouldn't get on if there was if there was time. And so, and of course they knew that I knew Prince, and they wanted to talk about Prince, and I'm like, no, can't talk about Prince.
No.
But now that Prince has passed, I really feel he wants people to talk about him.
That's interesting. Okay.
And that's why, because he liked having this shroud of mystery, but he was so funny and down to earth, and he used to say to me, you know, you should try it too, Devin, just like don't talk, like because he thought I talked so much. He was like,
funny.
if you would just not talk and just
we like to picture you, Prince, though. We're all talkative. It was crazy.
But I do think, you know, it's so cool that the Revolution is back.
I'm going to see them.
there.
I'm going to see them next month. Yes.
You know, I've talked to Bobby Z.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And I've talked to Jerome Benton recently, and Jerome was one of the few people that could talk to me back in the day. But like the Revolution, they didn't. I knew more about them than they knew about me.
I'm sure.
They saw me all the time, and they were. I heard from various sources that Wendy and Lisa were going, who is she?
Oh my
is she
God.
a singer? Who is she? What's she doing?
Here's the thing. So, did he ever try to get you to sing?
Well, he asked me. One of the I spoke about that in the book.
Yes.
One of the first things he said was, Devin, do you sing? And I said, first of all, Prince, you can't change my name because I've already done that.
Oh, yes.
And he goes, I don't want to change your name. I like your name. And I go, and I don't want to be in your shadow like Vanity and Apollonia. I got compared to them so much.
Yes.
I wanted to be my own person. And because we met through Playboy, I was getting to know him while he was on tour.
Yeah.
It was a very organic experience because I didn't expect, after I met him and, you know, going to the Playboy Mansion the next day, for him to call me.
Yeah, right. Who would think that anyway? Who would think that?
I didn't, you know, so that's why my story also, I nearly died the night that I met him.
Yes.
You know, so I've recently talked to Wally Safford, who was his backup dancer and also his bodyguard who introduced us. And I've recently talked to Jerome Benton, and Jerome said, Devin, you always kept it real.
I like that.
That's the thing. You know, Prince and I, there was just very, very much a solid ground of
It sounded like that in the
realness.
book.
And that's the way I write. I wanted to write and make the reader feel like they were right there with me.
It felt like your conversations, because he would come to you with certain things you talk about in the book, after you guys were not really together anymore. Like you said, you had a friendship and still talk. It felt like he would talk to you plainly also, and then you guys would have this, like, you would give your opinion. You'd be like, no, I think that's not good, or that. And it felt really like friendship.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
And I've since read Maite's book.
I haven't read it yet, so.
You know, and I want to hear everybody's story because I think Prince was different with different people.
Yeah. But you bring up something that's really interesting that I always talk about this. I call it the Guess My Race Girls. Because you guys all look like you'd be cousins and sisters. You say that actually in the
Well, I
book.
think I tried to explain that, and I think I did, because I remember Prince was studying my face, and he had a little mole or beauty mark on one side of his face, and I have a little one too on one side of my face.
Yes.
And he pointed it out. It was almost like he was looking for similarities.
Wow.
And I think he was looking for his soulmate, and he found that in Maite.
Yeah.
And they were so much alike,
Yeah.
you know. But I think he went for the same type of women because he was looking for that male-female balance within himself.
Like that's, yes.
And I think that he found that with Vanity, you know, and different. I think his autobiography is in his vast collection of music. Like any time period of music you listen to, you know where Prince was at, who he was with, what girl he was into, because he wrote songs about those people during that time in his life. So I really think he wrote the song "Adore" about me. And that was my favorite song.
Which is a beautiful. I had a fight with somebody online about that, by Adore. I was like, I love that. That song is such a
you know why? Because my Playboy cover came out in November of 1986.
Yeah.
He wrote the song in November of 1986. And the words, the lyrics was like, in a word, you were sex. In a word, Playboy. That was, and anytime he wanted to reach me, even when I got married and moved to Tennessee, when he called I could have been in Diamonds and Pearls, but
we talked about that. I'll mention that too. I'll mention that in a little minute. Yes.
But when that happened, he would always call Playboy.
How funny.
And then Playboy would call me and say, Prince is trying to reach you.
Prince is trying to reach you. Now, that's an interesting message to get. Prince is trying to reach you. Okay. And so that Playboy cover, as we're talking about that right now. And you look beautiful on this cover, of course. And, I mean, come on. I mean, hello. Hot stuff. Hot stuff. And I like the way you talk about Playboy, too. You talk about it in a way that's, you know, not salacious or anything. You talk about, like, this was an opportunity for you. And you seem like you have no regrets from it.
Of course not.
Yeah.
No, if I had not made the decisions that I made, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
I like that.
And yeah, Playboy was a major decision in my life, and I think looking back on it, I feel like I'm a major part of history.
You are?
American history. Have you seen Hugh Hefner, American Playboy on
Not yet.
Amazon?
I can't wait.
You should watch it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's really good.
I'm fascinated by that.
I learned stuff I didn't know.
Okay.
I mean, you have no idea the things that Hef opened the doors to.
Right.
You know, he opened the doors for African Americans to do stand up and to perform
at his key clubs.
At the Playboy Club.
Yeah.
He was the first to do that.
Wow.
And he fought for it. And he fought to overturn crazy laws. Like, you would get put in prison if you were caught getting a blowjob from your wife. Even.
Wow, how weird.
Yeah, it was crazy, weird laws.
Wow. Yeah, because I was going to ask you, because beautiful, like I said, beautiful cover, of course.
That was a big deal, by the way.
I know it was.
You know, having my name on the cover
I
in
know.
1985 and
No, I know.
86.
86. No, I know it was a big deal. I mean, Playboy. That was. I mean, that didn't really do anything, but that was a big deal at the time.
Yes, and I think Prince was proud of it, but I think he was. You know, with Playboy comes a lot of opportunities. Then you've got other rock stars, other producers going after you and stuff, you know. And so I think that he was such a control freak that it was like, no, you know, any girl that I'm with can't be in Playboy but that's how he met me.
Right.
Hello.
So men are complex. You know how we are sometimes. You know how we get possessive. But that's the thing. I mean, okay, so that whole, like I said, that chunk of time was magical for you as well. I mean, just as well. It was like you were in it. I want to ask you a question. I've always wanted to ask any of the Prince women. Do you feel that he was a major, like almost a feminist towards women, or was it just he loved women? Because he has so many women he's worked with.
I think he was so in touch with his feminine side, but yet he was very masculine. I know it's hard to understand. Even my husband doesn't. It's like, are you sure he wasn't gay? No, he wasn't gay.
I'm sure.
You know?
I'm totally sure.
But he was so in touch with his feminine side, and I spoke about that in great detail.
You did.
Because women, we like to look good. We like to make our hair, our makeup, our clothes, smell good, you know, and Prince was all of that. But I think that that's why he was so great at writing such beautiful songs. I mean, so many songs he's written for people like the Bangles.
Yes, yes, a lot of people.
You know, a lot of beautiful songs he's written for other artists that have become hits.
Yeah.
But he definitely. I was so feminine, as you can see.
Yeah, oh yes, definitely.
Super feminine,
yes,
right?
Definitely, yes.
So I felt like he was attracted to women who were very feminine. And I think that he was definitely in touch with his own femininity, but that didn't take away from him being masculine.
And I'm actually glad you said it, because I always felt that he was masculine.
Oh yeah.
But he just wasn't afraid.
Very charming.
I wasn't afraid to show. I always thought, what a way to get women.
Well,
to be kind of feminine, to be in touch with your feminine side, actually doesn't make you more attractive to women, and to some women, I would think it would.
Well, it's kind of like you know, his relationship with Susanna Melvoin, for example.
Yes.
Her sister Wendy is gay,
yes,
but she was straight, right? And I think he had such a close relationship, obviously, with Wendy, and he kind of envied the closeness that they shared as twin sisters. That's what inspired him to write "If I Were Your Girlfriend."
Yes.
You know, it's like, would you tell me? Would you tell me what you wouldn't tell me when I was your man? You know, and so and he like talking and getting to know a woman through courtship. I felt like he courted me on the phone because he was so good at calling and talking and sharing, and he had, you know, a very good way about rapping on the phone, I should say.
I believe it. Because the thing is, I mean, when you see him in later interviews, he comes across really normal. He talks like a regular dude. And you say, oh, and he's really funny in his personality. Like, because back in the day, he didn't do that. He did like one interview in 10 years. Like, he really didn't do any interviews or anything. So seeing him later, I was like, oh, he's a regular dude. I can see
but
some
I
of the stuff.
try to tell you that in the book, too, with the funny things that he would do. We'd go to dinner, and he would whisper in my ear what he wanted me to tell the waitress. And I would say, why can't you tell her yourself? Like, because I want you to.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
It's like he was just, it was a, I don't want to say it was a fake persona, because he really was
him. He was himself.
And shy. But if he got to know you, he was quite talkative and
Makes
funny.
sense.
And
Makes
everybody remembers that
Yeah.
about him. I mean, that's why he hung out with people like Eddie Murphy, because everybody could tell you the dude was funny.
There's some good stories in this book about that too. It's about the Eddie Murphy story was really funny in there too. Like, there's some.
We can't give it all away.
No, we're not. We're not going to. And the Sylvester Stallone stuff too was in there too. I'm telling you, this book is juicy. I'm telling you, it is juicy. One story I didn't know about, and then realized, was that Kat Glover, you were instrumental in them meeting.
Yes, she was on Star Search
which
with me.
Which I totally forgot about.
She was on Star Search with me, and I felt bad that she didn't win the $100,000 because she was in the finals. Pat and Kat, and she was known for doing her little thing here, right? And so I cooked dinner, believe it or not. I cooked gumbo.
Oh, sounds good, girl.
For
gumbo.
Mr. Nelson. Mr. Nelson was, I think he was in his 60s, you know, because he had a lot of Prince's siblings are older.
Way older than him, yes, they are.
Right?
Yes.
So Prince was 5 years older than me. I'm 21, 22. He's 27.
Yeah.
Mr. Nelson was in his 60s.
Wow.
But because he was from Louisiana, anytime Prince had a special event that he wanted his dad to attend, he would ask me to escort him.
Yes.
Because he was from Louisiana.
Yes.
And that's really what bonded us. And so he was in town, and Steve Fargnoli, Prince's manager, would say, your friend's in town. Do you want to go visit? And Mr. Nelson is coming into town too. And I think he rented the Menendez house, the house that they killed their parents in, before them.
Oh, okay.
It was before them.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Okay, so he and I tell that story too. He rented that house, and I was surprised that kitchen was so small. But I cooked gumbo for about 12 people.
Gumbo, oh my God.
And I invited Kat. because I knew she really wanted to meet Prince.
Yeah.
So I invited her that night, and we all went dancing to a new nightclub. And I kept telling Steve, will you make Prince pay attention to Kat? I'm going to get up and dance with her.
Yeah.
So I got up and danced with her,
Yeah.
and then Prince would ask me to dance. And then finally he asked Kat to dance. Next thing I know, Kat's in the band.
Yeah, she went on tour with them, several tours with them.
Yeah, well, she had to go to Minneapolis and rehearse.
Yes,
and
but she did
stuff.
Sign of the Times, I think, in Lovesexy, I believe.
Yes, those two tours, yeah. And so they took off to Europe, and then I think that's around the time I started dating Sylvester Stallone.
Yes, you did. Slyvester. Yes, you did. I mean, I feel like Sylvester has it also. Like Prince has that thing. Sylvester does too. He's the one who has that thing too.
I'm attracted to very intelligent men. First and foremost, I thought Sly was very intelligent.
Yeah.
The fact that he created and wrote Rocky for himself.
Yeah.
And he told me the story. His first wife was pregnant, 7 months pregnant. He had no money in the bank, and they were offering him like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they didn't want him to play the part.
Right.
But he held out, and the rest is history, right? And same thing with Purple Rain. That was all Prince. And nobody wanted to do Purple Rain. Nobody believed in Purple Rain. And Steve told me that if they had met me a year before, it would have been me in Purple Rain. Because he had to go and hunt for Apollonia. He had to go and find a girl that was the right size, the right look.
Yes.
And he told me he got slapped by a lot of girls because it was merely a cattle call. He was... When Vanity broke up with Prince, they were getting ready to shoot Purple Rain. He had to do a casting call, and girls would come up to him and say, I waited in your office for like 2 hours, and I walked in and you just went, thank you, no thank you. Because he was literally looking for the right look and the right height and Apollonia.
She walked right in. That was it, kids.
The rest was history, you know. Yeah. But both those men and Hugh Hefner, they created the lives they wanted. They manifested their lives the way they wanted it to be. And looking back, I think I did too.
You did, girl. You did. I'm going to show some pictures. And here's you with Mr. Nelson. You escorted him to an award show, I believe.
No, that was... that was to the Superdome, to Prince's biggest concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was before 70,000 people. I remember him telling me that. That's
amazing. 70,000 people is amazing. Let's go to the next picture. These couple pictures, they were in papers around the world because there was not. They would talk about you guys, and one of these.
No, that's not me.
That's not you in there?
No. I never did get a picture.
That's not you. That's not you. Okay.
No, but it kind of looks like me.
Yeah, it looks like you. Let's go to the next one. Same time period, I guess, a little different time period. Let's go to the next one. And so, tell me if this one's you or not.
No, that one's me. So, no, that's not me.
That's not you
him.
Either. That's him. Oh, wait, she'll show you the rest of it. She's pulling it up. Tell me if this is you or not.
No, that's not me.
She's not her either. Okay, There you go. So, Prince, you mentioned in the book that he always had girlfriends.
He always had a girlfriend.
So that's a good way to segue it. He always had girlfriends.
He always had a girlfriend, and in reading My Taste book, she would say, she said there was Carmen Electra said something about there's the girl that's leaving Minneapolis and the girl that's coming to Minneapolis.
Got it.
So there's always one leaving and one coming. But I think he knew there was just no way I was going to live in Minneapolis. I had just moved from Chicago. I couldn't get used to
the winters.
He did not like that I moved to LA, but my career was here. The weather agreed with me. That is me.
That's you. I love that. He gave you that outfit, didn't he?
He gave me 4.
That's a beautiful outfit. That's a beautiful outfit.
And that was one of his actual outfits from Purple Rain. So he gave me, and Oprah Winfrey saw me in one of them. I talked about it. She called me Little Butt. Because you could see through. The pants. You could see the butt.
Yes. but look at that outfit. I could see you in Purple Rain. I can see you in the band. I can see you.
Well, that was the thing. Prince was like trying to figure out how to fit me into his life, because that's why all the women that worked with him became girlfriends or romantically
you talk
involved,
about that,
because he was a workaholic and he had to fit you into his world. And when he said to me, well, when I said no, you can't make me a singer because I don't want to. If I had said yes, he would. And then he asked me to come to Under the Cherry Moon.
I was going to ask about that, yes.
And I said no.
He said no.
Because he had broken up with me, and then he
Yes.
calls me and says, okay, so I don't want to give away all that. But
No.
the thing is that he definitely could not control me. And I couldn't let any man control me.
Makes sense.
And I think he knew that. And instead of tarnishing a beautiful relationship, he came to the conclusion of accepting it, and I did too, because he made jokes and well, maybe we can make you a roadie or something, But I was just, I think they were grooming me for a movie, because Steve Fargnoli said you're going to be in the next Prince movie, but then that next Prince movie turned into Sign of the Times, and then from there they split up. Steve Fargnoli and Prince, and then I got married. So kind of like things. The timing just didn't happen.
But I think it's very important to note that even though you guys had broken up, he still came to you.
Well, fate kind of brought us together because of Star Search. 6 months after we broke up, I was on Star Search, and they wanted to use Baby I'm a Star, and the producer was like, he doesn't let his music on television. And I said, well, I know him, I can ask. And so I asked Steve Fargnoli, and he asked Prince, and Prince said yes. So
that's
was just,
very cool, though.
And then she just recently told me that was a $10,000 licensing fee, and he gave it to Star Search for free. So
the power of Devin. That's why I said the power of Devin. That's the power. Girl, you have power. That's like the power of Devin. Look at that. And also something you talk about is very poignant in the book, and you guys should read this, of course, that you and Vanity, Denise Matthews.
Yes, I
knew
Vanity.
You have a little journey with her, too.
I know Vanity.
And she died, too, like a few months before he did.
Well, did you know that she also died on the same day that his mother died?
Oh, no.
14 years earlier.
Ugh,
of the same
kind of thing.
I think that was the thing, is I've always been very spiritual, and I've always paid attention to my gut feeling. And I kept telling Ron, I think something's not right with Prince.
You say in the book how you had that feeling.
I had that feeling, and I had too many coincidences, and also I think a lot of people say, well, what would have happened had I worked with him?
Okay.
I am probably one of the only girls that he's ever been with that didn't work with.
You're right. I think you are. I can't think of any others that
right.
They've all done something with him. Interesting.
And I think when the opportunities came, they were just at the wrong time. And I often think back, had I dropped everything and just worked with him, would my life be where it is today, or would it have but there's no way to you have to make decisions every day.
You do, right.
So every decision you make takes you on your path. And I think my dream was to get married and have the family I never had. That was way more important to me than fame and fortune. And for Prince, it was all about, he must have told me 10,000 times, I'm married to my music,
I believe
I think he thought, you're the marrying type. I know that. You're a nice girl. But, I'd never met a rock star before.
That's amazing.
I never met one that wore eye makeup, that's for sure. So he's looking at me going, you must think I'm weird, right? And I'm looking at him going, I don't know what to think of you.
Okay.
But I was always honest with him, and he was always honest with me. And that's why we bonded. Because there was just no BS.
You get that from the book. I get it. I got it from the book.
Yeah.
Completely. That you guys were, I said, you guys were friends. I think above everything.
And half of the proceeds I want to give to #YesWeCode.
Yes.
I wrote this book purely because of my love and admiration for Prince. And I wanted to, for so many years, so many people asked about Prince.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give back and do something I think Prince would be proud of.
Yeah.
And so that's why this book is taking a life of its own. I haven't put any promotion into it.
I came to her. So I came to her and I asked her. I came to her. I came to you, and she was gracious enough to answer me back. But I came to you.
But I figured this book is going to take a life of its own.
Well, because it's Prince. It's Prince on some level.
But it's not just Prince.
But it isn't. No, you're right. It isn't.
It's really meant to inspire and enlighten people, because I think it's a magical story that if you read it, you might want to read it again and see how it moves you, because my life story has been quite a journey. And
seriously.
And it's not Prince crossed my path at a time that was magical.
I agree.
And I think that there's no such thing as coincidences. And if somebody crosses your path, it's for a reason.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I've often wondered what that reason was.
Yeah.
And now that he's gone, maybe it's because it's the writer in me. Maybe this was the whole purpose.
Right. Now you do have a happy ending, of course. You do, and
I have this little guy.
Little Prince, but not just him. You have another guy too, and his name is Ron Moss. You guys know who he is, of course. Player and Bold and Beautiful and the Bay. I mean, like you met him on a movie set.
My life has been a soap opera. I got my SAG card saying hi to Prince in the movie he met his now ex-wife on.
Yes.
Did you get that?
I mean, you mean Ron. we met Ron on, and his ex-wife was on that too. Yes.
And then we were reintroduced 18 years later.
That's amazing to me.
By Lorenzo Lamas, who was trying to introduce me to the guy that played his brother on the show. And I was secretly thinking, gee, I wish it was that Ron guy. And so it's just, fate brought us together later in life.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here you are.
13 years later.
Wow, congratulations, girl. That's really good. Now, the Bay. How did that enter into your orbit?
The Bay came to us shortly after Ron left The Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah.
And we had met Gregory Martin and Christos Andrews before. Thought they were very talented and energetic, creative. And it was a chance for Ron to create a new character. And Gregory brought us on as producers together, because he says, you guys do everything. I go, yeah, we do everything together. We work together.
Yes.
And so it's been quite an experience, because we each now have 3 Emmys.
Yes, I was going to say, congratulations. I know Mary Beth Evans. I signed the people I've interviewed on my shows with some of the people from the Bay. The Bay's really good also. Congratulations on the Emmys, but also tell people, this is a golden age of television that's not on television right now, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of great series out there.
Well, what makes the Bay stand out, which you can binge on the Bay on Amazon Prime.
Yes, you can.
And the new season is about to drop.
Wow, okay.
I think next month.
Okay.
And it's really good.
Oh, my God.
And weird thing, Ron plays a character named John Blackwell. And Prince had a drummer in the
New Generation, right?
Named John Blackwell.
That's crazy. That's creepy.
Isn't that creepy? Okay, but the Bay, what's so cool about the Bay is we just swept the Emmys in every category, and it made history, because it's the first digital drama series to have such iconic daytime stars and primetime stars.
Yes, you do have
together.
both.
And playing different roles that you wouldn't imagine them in.
Yeah.
But the show doesn't read like a daytime drama.
Nope, it doesn't.
It really is fast moving and everything shot on location. That's what I did as a producer. I helped with locations. I helped with social media. We kind of, as producers, we did many different things to make that show happen.
Yeah.
And now it's going to a different level because everybody's paying attention.
Well, they are, yeah.
And Gregory and Christos are Christos is the youngest executive producer to win so many Emmys, also as a lead actor.
I know.
So we're very proud of the Bay. It's been quite a journey and quite an experience. But I think we're going on to even bigger and better things.
What do you like about producing?
I love producing because you have that creative control that you don't have as an actor. When you're just a hired hand, so to speak, when you're a producer, especially executive producer, then you call the shots.
Yes,
I
you
like
do, girl.
that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. She's lady boss.
I had John Peters once tell me that producing is basically putting the right pieces of the puzzle together.
Right.
And I've always been very good at putting and implementing ideas. So
she's good too because just my exchanges with you, I feel like I know her. Just my exchanges with you, your prompt, your responses are good. I mean, like you have it down because you're running. Is it Devron Productions?
Devron is our business.
Yes.
That's Devin and Ron.
Yes.
Devron.
You guys do. You are really good at really putting things together. The time management of it. I see you. I can tell you're really good.
Well, it's a lot of work. I make it look easy, but it's a lot of work because it does take organizing. Organization is the key, and balance. That's that's my motto in life, is keeping life in balance. That's what I write about. That's what I believe. And once you keep your life in balance, then it's easy to manifest even more and more and more. So
I'm a professional organizer by trade.
I know.
Yeah,
I should have you come and organize some of my stuff.
Let's do it together, girl. Make sure Prince is around. I'll be happy.
I just organized my office. Where were you?
I see. We did meet till just now. But I do that. That's my trade. I'm a life coach too. My trade. That's what I do. My trade. So
we have that in common.
We have that in common. Yeah.
And when you're in your 50s, you have to have the wisdom to know we're all connected, and you have to be giving back.
I agree.
To the planet and to humanity. It can't be about just accumulating.
I agree.
And part of organization and balance is getting rid of stuff you don't need and giving it to people who may need it.
Yes. I say it all the time. If I can't repurpose it or keep it in my home, give it to somebody who actually could really use that item. It's just sitting there collecting dust in your house.
Exactly.
Taking up space. So, someone out there might really need that.
And it also lets the universe bring new things into your life.
I agree with that.
So did you notice I put a little purple in
I know. I love purple. I love the outfit. I love the purple. I love it all. I mean, like, seriously, I look at these pictures back then, and you're so beautiful.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I mean, it emanates out of you. I can just tell.
Well, I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I think beauty should be from the inside out.
I agree.
If you feel beautiful, if you think good, positive thoughts, if you try to be the best person you can be today, or be better today than you were yesterday, then you're on the right track. And I don't have anything against Botox and all that stuff, but I'm like, there's something to be said for growing old gracefully.
I agree with that.
And it's okay, you know? And half the time I don't put a lot of emphasis on my looks.
Yeah.
I did when I was young. We all do that. You're finding yourself and stuff. But I put more emphasis on my thoughts and my feelings and the things that I'm doing, and I'm thinking, okay, am I doing this in the best interest of everybody?
So 2 last things that we'd like to talk about on my show. One thing I want to ask you, just because I have to ask, how has it been for you since Prince died? Because your friend is gone.
Yeah. Well, the first few months I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was crying.
Luckily you had Ron, thank God.
Yeah.
And
the book was very therapeutic
Yes,
for me.
yes.
The best thing out of 2016 was this little guy. But I just recently started listening to music.
Oh, just recently, okay.
The anniversary of his death, I was able to listen to the music, and now I hear different things.
Ooh.
I'm able to listen to the music with different ears. You know, I love the classic Prince. I like Controversy.
Me too. You mentioned it. I love that album.
You
and
know,
everything,
I
yes.
like the Parade album.
Me too.
I like the era of the music he created when I knew him, because that was the heyday for me.
Yeah.
But I'm discovering the new power generation. Like, I love the song Joy in Repetition.
Yes, oh yeah, from Greedy Free Bridge. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't really get into that song before. I'm like, why haven't I heard this song? You know? And then it's like, did you ever see him do Motherless Child? My God. Yeah. So I'm rediscovering Prince in different ways too, because I kind of didn't really get into
the later stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like with Playboy. I know the girls from my era, but if you ask me who the Playmates are today, I couldn't tell you. You know, so but
that's cool.
In my opinion, the revolution was.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
You know,
but my age too.
But I'm a little bit biased.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I was around the revolution a long time, so. Although they don't know me as well as I know them, you know, we need to talk.
That's right. That's right. Y'all come my show all together. Y'all come my show together. We'll talk about that loud.
But I mean, they were just a kick-ass band.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously kick-ass. So I'm hoping to see them when they come to LA.
Yeah.
I hope so. And Bobby Z is just a sweetheart of a guy. He's the only one in the revolution that's talked to me so far.
Yes. That's good. He's a big member of that. So yes. Now, so I ask my guests the same two questions. Of course, at home, you guys know I don't prompt them or ask them in advance. And this is my 82nd episode.
Ooh.
So I've done a lot. So this really is. I love doing the show. And so my two questions are: the first one is, what word do you think we should not say anymore in the English language?
You know.
You know.
My husband hates that. It's like, will you stop saying you know? Everybody's like, you know what I mean? You know.
That's a good.
You know.
It's a first on the show. It's a first on the show. I like that. You know. Now, what word do you think we should say more of?
Oh.
In our sentences.
Thank you, and I'm so grateful. I think if people had more gratitude in their everyday lives, they'd be much happier.
I agree with that. Because we have a lot of negative things that are out there.
We have friends, seriously, that are super talented people. And they're never happy.
Is that crazy?
They're constantly complaining.
Yes.
And you just want to go, why are you never happy?
Yes.
Don't you see you're drawing more of that to you?
Right.
If you would just change that and go, I'm so grateful. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I have so much. Find something every day that you can be grateful for and say thank you for that.
I'm grateful just to wake up.
Yeah.
These days, and to be at the table, so to speak. I'm very grateful.
And that's
for that.
why, you know, with this book is so personal for me. I said I felt more naked writing this book than I did posing for Playboy.
That makes sense. No, that you made that statement, and it completely makes sense because this is emotions. We can easily show our bodies and things. I mean, not so easily, but people can do that. But this is emotion.
And when I was writing it, and I'm sure Maite had her book was
I'm
really
sure
heavy because they
had a baby,
lost a child in a very tragic way.
Yeah.
And I feel that every Prince story out there needs to be told.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
Will be told over time, just like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis. You have to share what you knew about him because he was such a genius that he handpicked people to be in his life.
I believe that.
You know, and you were in his life because he saw something in you. He saw a talent, or he saw an energy, or he saw something that was special.
I believe
That's why he let you hang around him, because he was cool.
Yeah.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
the epitome of cool.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be around his energy. He had more energy than anybody I'd ever met.
That's amazing.
So the fact that I got to spend as much time as I did with him, and the fact that he talked to me as much as he did, and we laughed and we had so much fun. It was such a beautiful experience. And he said to me, there's a side to me you could never see. And I've heard about this bad side, okay? But I never experienced it.
Good, okay.
So I only have the beautiful stuff to tell, right? And I think that there's going to be a lot of stories over time about him. And we're going to, from his music and from the stories, will help a new generation get to know this enigma called Prince.
Seriously.
Because I'm still trying to figure
I
it
know,
out.
we're all trying, girl, I know, and you were there, and I was such a Prince fan. I mean, I've seen him 7 times in concert over the years.
Did you see Purple Rain in L.A.?
I saw Purple Rain in L.A. back in '85.
Then I was there.
You were there at the Forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Forum.
I was there when Madonna was watching and had not even toured yet.
That's so funny.
I was on stage at the end.
Yeah.
When everybody would dance.
I probably didn't even know who you were. I'm like, you know who you were. I saw the 1999 tour. I saw that tour. I saw Musicology. I saw when he did the 21 Days of the Forum, bring the Forum back. Talking about Prince, getting back to the community. I saw every weekend he was coming to LA and doing these shows. I saw when they booed off Kim Kardashian. I saw that. I was there that night. He's such a dynamic performer, and
that was my only regret, was that my husband didn't get.
As you were saying,
because he's such an amazing musician, and even though Ron and Prince are nothing alike,
right,
they share expertise with being a great music. I mean, because Ron plays multiple instruments, and he taught himself.
Yeah.
And he's very much a perfectionist, a little bit of a control freak.
yeah. With that structured jawline that no one else ever in daytime ever had. He has we were talking about that yesterday on my show yesterday. How Ron Moss has the classic structured jawline that no one else has.
Well, some people ask me, is it hard for you being married to Ron? Because he gets so much attention. I mean, he gets way more attention than I do. But I don't care. I'm okay with it.
He's yours.
Yeah.
Hello? He goes home with her. You can all talk to him, but he goes home with you. That's right.
But he's the most wonderful man.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. And I know that he doesn't need to have more than one girl.
Okay.
Right, honey?
He's a musician actor. Well, I live in gratitude you came on the show. I'm so thankful you answered me back when I reached out to you.
I'm very grateful that you read the book.
It's a must read.
Thank you.
And as a Prince fan, I appreciate it very much.
And the titles of the songs were inspired because Prince told his story through his music.
His music, yeah.
So I felt like if I'm going to tell this story, I need to incorporate a little of that.
Yeah.
So that's where that was.
Very smart, very clever. The Day It Snowed in April, Devin DeVasquez, you have to get it. You can get it everywhere. Now tell folks in that camera over there, like where they can find you on social media and kind of just,
you guys can find me everywhere on social media. You can find me on Periscope. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, under Instagram, all under Devin DeVasquez.
Yes. And of course, you can follow us at Breaking Into page on Facebook. I'm James Lott Jr. all over social media, of course. I'm interviewing her husband, Ron Moss, on our Spotlight on our sister network, which is AfterBuzz TV, and that's next Tuesday. So excited to be talking to him. And I love Little Prince. I can't stop looking at him. He's so cute.
Did you see how quiet he is?
He's a good boy. He's a really good boy. Yeah. My child wouldn't be that quiet the whole time.
Right. No,
that's great. He's good.
But if you follow him on Instagram,
I will follow him on Instagram.
Mr. Prince 1999.
There you go. I'm gonna follow him after the show.
You'll see how energetic he is.
Thank you guys for watching Breaking Into. Thank you, Miss Devin, and thank you everybody so much. And I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Get out.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.